So we are just now done with our monthly call for Mindful Monday Mapping. We had such a great discussion on overwhelm and ADHD. So I'm here with Sherry Lukey, who is our co-host in the program, and we were talking about how that affects how we're able to show up and how we're able to accomplish and do everything that we want to do in life. And I learned a lot. So I don't know, Sherry, if you want to recap just a few of the highlights that you were touching on. Um, yeah. I lots of good takeaways. Lots of good
Oh
takeaways
yes,
today.
yeah. No, the feedback from people was huge. I think it was like, yeah, they were just so blown away and so helpful. So we were touching on ADHD and overwhelm, and as I said in the video, it's like I'm not a clinical psychologist or anything like that, but I have been recently diagnosed with acute ADHD. So I've been doing a deep dive into it and how overwhelm fits into that. But even if, well, two things. One is I think people found the information really helpful in terms of being able to identify for themselves and also to identify for clients, customers, and even people in their world.
Yeah.
And so one of the main assessment tools for that is called DSM-5, and Caroline's going to have the link for it. So we went through that just to have and I simplified it
Yeah.
just for time's sake, but you can actually go through it and get a better idea of what the criteria is for that. And then as well, it's a little bit different for women because that original assessment was done for young boys, so it's a bit different for women. But I do some of the qualifying with that with the questions when we're going through it, and like one of the for yourself, Caroline, that it just was really eye opening to
Yeah.
see the distinction,
Yeah.
and and knowledge is really really powerful because it's
Yeah.
like the more that we understand ourselves, the more that we can understand our clients and customers, and the more that we can understand the people around us, and we're just able to operate at such a high level. And
Yeah. Yeah. And awareness, right, is key for everything. Um, Everything in life pretty much. But yeah, for me to be aware of what I need to support my students with and what I need to be aware of and recognizing the signs and knowing how to help them is huge, because I have had, like we talked about in the past, trouble relating because I don't have or have not been diagnosed with this, and I don't think I'm on that spectrum at all. So for me, I haven't had the tools, I think, in my arsenal to be able to give them necessarily the support that they needed. And I definitely want to make sure that I do that going forward. And that's one of the reasons why we brought you in to help bridge that gap. So yeah, it feels like a really strong, good collaboration now because we have both the strategy and we have the tools to deal with overwhelm and all of those things.
yeah, well, and I think as well that it's like um more especially women, but especially and entrepreneurs. I think there's a amazing disproportionate of people that are on that ADHD
Yeah.
spectrum,
Yeah.
and having this knowledge is so incredibly powerful. And I think also recognizing that because you're someone that doesn't identify as that it's like your ability to create the systems and the strategies are so effective. And so then the only piece that was missing was just being able to
Yeah.
help those to get to the table so that they can actually implement these things
Yeah.
because they work.
Yeah.
You've had massive success as yourself and other clients. But if you are someone that identifies that or is just curious about it, it's really going to be helpful to understand it because the uh, we have like as an ADHD person, it's like you have what I call this inner critic that's on steroids,
Mhm.
and although that can be really motivating and could be a part of your success, it also has a ceiling with it because it comes at a
Yeah.
massive cost,
Yeah.
and that cost can show up in many different ways. And the thing that what I love about your this courses and the strategies and is that creates a system so that you can actually start to back off and take some time because you need that time to
Mhm.
be able to create to the next level. And
Yeah.
it's sort of like sort of like that one thing begets the next thing, and that's and through um through showing up with these on these calls is that we're able to really dial it in specific to what your needs are. And that was really obvious with people with their feedback so that we could bring it into the tapping script and also give more insight about the solutions.
Yeah, it's so interesting because a lot of the techniques sometimes that I teach, people find counterintuitive. It's like, oh, how do you work less? Well, you take time off. And people go, what? Like, no, 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 I need to work harder. I'm like, no, you don't need to work harder. That's the problem. We need to really switch our perspective and actually do more, but in less time and just shift some of the priorities and decision making, because that's what a lot of it comes down to. It's prioritization, as we talked about, is decision making and reflection and really being intentional with the time that you have available to you. It's not about, being competition with others, or it's not about doing things really fast, or like that doesn't matter. So a lot of the times we just have to shift people's perspectives and the way that they are addressing the challenges that they're having in life.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
I think
it's interesting how
and
that
so
works.
one of the things that we touched on, right, was giving a way to actually help, because one of the challenges with ADHD is actually prioritizing,
Yeah,
because everything feels urgent.
yeah,
And so one of the things that we touched on is a way to actually discern with that, right? And the discerning that we did with it was, more specific to making money, but that can be applied to if you have really big goals.
yeah.
So I really, really encourage people to listen to it, because it's like these are tried and true solutions that are going to help. And the tapping is like it makes a huge as soon as that nervous
Huge
system
difference.
as soon as that nervous system is soothed, there anything becomes possible.
Yeah. And we want that for everybody. We want
Yeah.
everything to be, all your dreams should be able to come true, and it shouldn't be a struggle. It's going to be hard work, but it shouldn't be a struggle. So yeah.
Well, I'd say it isn't even hard work, even like it's like
Mm.
'cause what I found with the way that you've laid it out, Caroline, is that it's very it's intuitive, it's step by step, it's like it's very clear, and actually, and I found it really enjoyable.
Yay. I love that. It should be fun. Yeah, it actually is. Um, I just completed my monthly productivity report video today. So I just released that today. And I really loved doing those for myself because I'm having so much fun reflecting on my month. Like, and once you get into that whole system of doing those things, the massive shifts start to happen. And you realize, like, oh, prioritization, I know kind of what I need to do because
Yeah.
I understand what I'm working towards, and just having massive clarity is so helpful. So actually, that's a good segue. So for anybody who's interested in watching these, replays that we've had so far, we've talked about ADHD and Overwhelm. We've also talked about a couple of other things, um, and we have a bunch more calls coming up the rest of the year, right? So with my Monday mapping, the program comes this monthly group coaching where we dig into all of these juicy topics and actually work out solutions for them. So if you want to learn more about that program, you can go to theswedishorganizer.com/mmm, or you can just DM me and I'll tell you all about it, because we really want everybody to have massive success and just the freedom and the ease and getting things done and enjoying their business and not feeling stressed and overwhelmed. Even if you do have ADHD, like there's still ways to make it not overwhelming. So we hope to see you there. And if you are enrolled, please show up on these live calls because you get so much out of them. Even I'm learning and I'm creating this program. So it's always a really nice takeaway that you're going to get. So we hope to see you there. And yeah, until next month, we'll talk soon.